We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vitthishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying Kathopanishad, one of the brilliant Upanishads for all the students of Vedanta, where Lord Yama is the teacher and an 8-year-old boy is a student. The main essence of the first chapter, first section is how mumukshutvam is important in pursuit of Atma Vidya. The first section and the second section, they all talk about the qualities of a student, how we as a student can develop these qualities of viveka, vairagyam, shamada satka sampatti, and mumukshutva. These are all important and they are beautifully presented in this Upanishad. And then the teaching will start about life after death of the body. The question asked by Nachiketa to Lord Yama is given in the first section, first chapter, 20th verse. The 20th verse, the same question is repeated in another form in the third section, in the second section, 14th mantra. So, first chapter talks about two questions. The first question is, some people say after death, there is nothing. Some people say after death, there is something. Now, you are the Lord of death. So, you will know what is death. That is the question by the 8-year-old boy, Nachiketa. Now, I will go to where stopped last week. And we were doing the 27th mantra of the first section.
न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो लप्स्यामहे वित्तम् अद्राक्ष्मचेत्त्वा लप्स्यामहे वित्तम् अद्राक्ष्मचेत्त्वा जीविष्यामो यावदीशिष्यसि त्वं जीविष्यामो यावदीशिष्यसि त्वं वरस्तु मे वरणीयः स एव वरस्तु मे वरणीयः स एव.
Gita is talking about the value of money. Again, a very important aspect for all the students of Vedanta. See, money is required for conducting life. No doubt about it. So we all have to earn money. And it gives us food, shelter, clothing, and comforts in life. There is absolutely no doubt about it. So let's not undervalue the status of money. During Navaratri, we do worship of Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. They are the deities who shower health, wealth, and wisdom. What one should understand is wealth does not give us happiness. Happiness does not depend on what I have, but what I am. Very important aspect of life. Happiness does not depend on what I have, but what I am. Suppose I know I am the pure Atma in which this whole universe is appearing and disappearing. This is the essence of the teaching. But suppose now I'm telling you, now you may have $1 million, $2 million in your account, or a crore rupees in your account. That does not give you happiness. It gives you, okay, it gives you comfort. That's all. That, okay, it will take care of me when I need money for expenses. But Atma Vidya is something unique. That is what Nachiketa is trying to say in this particular verse. Now, Nachiketa is telling Yama, see how clever he is. Now that I have met you, now we are both are friends. I'm sure as a friend, you will not keep me like a pauper. You will help me if I need wealth. And if I need long life, you are Yamadharma Raja. You will give me the gift. What I need is self-knowledge. What I need is Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya. This Atma Vidya gives fulfillment in life. Very important word, fulfillment. When do I get fulfilled in life? When I know that I have everything which I need in life. If I know I am Atma, it makes me immortal. That is the Vidya we are going to study. That gives me peace, that gives me security, that gives me joy. Wealth and happiness, they don't have a cause effect relationship, not a direct, indirect. They don't have a direct cause effect relationship. That is what is we should understand from the 27th mantra.
अजीर्यताममृतानामुपेत्य अजीर्यताममृतानामुपेत्य जीर्यन्मर्त्यः क्वधस्तः प्रजानन् जीर्यन्मर्त्यः क्वधस्थः प्रजानन् अभिध्यायन् वर्णरतिप्रमोदान् अभिध्यायन् वर्णरतिप्रमोदान् अतिदीर्घे जीविते को रमेत अतिदीर्घे जीविते को रमेत.
Here, Nachiketa talks about Jara and Maranam. Jara means disease, Maranam means death. These are two conditions of the physical body. If I'm attached, if I'm identified with this body as real, and if I consider them to be absolutely important in my life while living, then of course I have these problems. After Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, I continue to stay in this life. I hand over the body to the Lord. Then what happens? Lord will take care of my body. Okay, this is then you have full faith in this, in the actually speaking, nobody has control over his body. Diseases do come, diseases do go away, but really speaking, nobody has control. Body is born with defects, body gets diseases. They are all as per prarabdha karma. There is no other answer given in the Veda about why some people have good body, some people are suffering today. They didn't suffer last week, they didn't suffer 2 years ago. Suddenly they have diseases. These are all the play of time. All this come in time and they go off. Now, Nachiketa is saying, I'm in front of the Lord Yama. Now he is a remedy for the samsara disease. Samsara means this disease of birth and death. I am in the bhuloka, in the earthly plane, these diseases will affect me. But now I have a rare opportunity. I'm a resident now of Swargaloka, where Lord is there, Devata is there. Swargaloka means it is a loka, it is where the Devatas reside. Devatas are exalted jivas only. So, without this knowledge, we will consider ourselves to be mortal. But with this knowledge of Atma Vidya, we will consider ourselves as immortal Atma. Now, next mantra, this is the last mantra of the first section.
यस्मिन्निदं विचिकित्सन्ति मृत्यो यस्मिन्निदं विचिकित्सन्ति मृत्यो यत्साम्पराये महति ब्रूहि नस्तत् यत्साम्पराये महति ब्रूहि नस्तत् योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो नान्यन् तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते नान्यन् तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते.
So, Nachiketa is asking, teach me Atma Vidya. Why I need Atma Vidya? Because it is Gudha Anupravishtaha. Gudha means it's a secret, hidden. It's in a cave of the intellect, not easily accessible. Even Devatas are not sure of this knowledge. Yasmin idam vichikitsa. Vichikitsa means doubt. In this regard, many people have a doubt. In the Vedic time, there were 12 philosophies. 6 philosophies were considered astikas who believed in the Veda. There are 6 Nastika philosophies. The 6 Nastika philosophies are basically the 4 schools of Buddhism, then Jainism and Charvaka. These are the 6 schools of Nastika Darshanam. In Astika Darshanam, there is Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Purva Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa. These are the 6 schools. These are studied in detail in second chapter of Brahma Sutra, the second section. So anybody who wants to learn about these 6 schools and how Vedanta is different, how Vedanta negates these 6 schools, you have to study Brahma Sutra, second chapter, second section. Now, Atma, is Atma the mind, the body? Is it the soul? Is it Anu? Anu means atomic in size. Is it Sarvagataha? Sarvagataha means, is it all pervading? Is it one? Is Atma one? Or is it many? Now, these are the questions which are asked in the 6 schools of philosophies. Atman is beyond the empirical reality. It is not in time. It survives death. So Nachiketa wanted to know, is there anything after death? The answer is yes. There is something which survives death. And that is called as Atma, or it is called as Brahman in Vedanta. Now, what survives death is not a Paurusheya Vishaya. Paurusheya Vishaya means the knowledge which I can gather from my sense organs or by using the other sources of knowledge like inference, like Anupalapti. We have studied these things before. So Atma you cannot know from normal sources of knowledge. Now, this Vidya alone I want. When Nachiketa says this, it means he has got the Viveka Shakti in his mind. What is the Viveka Shakti? Viveka Shakti means I can discriminate between ephemeral and eternal. Ephemeral means transactions. In the transaction, all transactions are always in time and space. That means our waking state is always in time and space. The sleep state, we don't experience time. We don't experience time. But time does exist for others who are awake. So, as far as I'm concerned, I have got two experiences. One is with time, another is without time. Because you are there. I am there during the between the Jagrat Avastha and the Sushupti Avastha. I am there. What is that I? What is the nature of that I? Is Atma is the question of Nachiketa. That I doesn't have death. That I exist eternally. So what we have covered so far from 21 to 29 is the qualities tested by Yamadharmaraja on Nachiketa. What are the qualities of a student? We have studied in Tapoboda, Viveka, Vairagyam, Tibra Mumukshutvam has been tested. Shamad Shakya Sampatti is a discipline tested and revealed in the story. What are these? I will explain in a slide. Titiksha also was tested because Titiksha means he had fasted for 3 days. It shows that he has got sense organs control. So conclusion is Nachiketa wanted only Atma Vidya as the third boon. What is the first boon? My father should be happy. He should recognize me when I go back home. Second boon, what is the ritual by which one can go to Swargaloka? Third boon, what lies after death? The third boon is the answer for the rest of the Upanishad. But before that, there are certain qualities of the student and the teacher which are given off in the second section. Chatushtaya consists of Viveka means discrimination between real. Real means what? Something which exists continuously. You see, you and I, we always feel there is something in me which is always there. What is that which is always there? If it is always there while I'm living, it will also be there when the body is dead. That is the logic we should use. That cannot transact in the world because the body medium is required for transaction, mind is required, sense organs are required. So what keeps on changing is the body medium, which we call it as the Jagat. So we should be very clear between I, the Atma, which is eternal, which is real, Real means the definition of real is it exists in three periods of time. What is the definition of unreal? Opposite of real. It does not exist. Even in the sleep state, I don't see my body. Therefore, this jagat which I'm talking about, the world, this world which is perceived only by the five sense organs is not the reality behind this universe. There is something. That is what is called as Atma. Our goals are short term or long term. In short, all of us, we need short term goals. I want to get married. I want to get a degree. I want something for my children. These are all short term. But behind the short term goals, there should be a goal for all of us. That goal is called as Atma Vidya. Vairagyam means dispassion, detachment from the fruits of action, detachment from karma and karma phala. Vairagyam can be of two types, physical and mental. Physical vairagyam is you go and sit in Himalayas. Mental vairagyam means you can remain in grihastha. And mentally you can say switch off and say that I can remain without pancha anatma. What is pancha anatma? Number one, body, mind. Number two is mind. Three is family. Number four is profession. And number five is possessions. These are the five pancha anatmas. Mentally, if you can say, I don't mind losing the losable. These are all losable in life. So mentally, I say, I don't mind. It goes away, it goes away. I accept. Now, this attitude in life is vaira. I don't mind losing what is losable. All these things in the world, everything is losable. Therefore, but my goal is what? What is my ultimate goal? I want to learn what is cannot be lost. Atma cannot be lost because it is my swarupa. It is my nature. Sat Sampati is the top sense organs control. I will explain this in the next slide. Mukshutvam is desire. Desire for what? Desire for liberation. Liberation means moksha. Moksha is the goal of all individuals. Because the purpose of life, according to Veda, is you must realize you are Atma. You are born here in this world, go through the experiences, study Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, realize there is something eternal, and accept that eternal Atma as your nature. You will think, okay, if I learn Kathopanishad and I realize, then what happens? You're free. Free means what? You are not you are not affected by anything which comes in life. After Vedantic study, many students in the last 10 years have come back and told me that the Vedanta study has helped me. Definitely, it has helped me. Why? Because I can face life as it comes. I am able to face life because of this knowledge. I may not have got 100% of the knowledge, but even if you get a little bit of this knowledge, this will help you in your day to day life. Our mind is a problem. Our mind gets affected very easily. How to control that mind? There is nowhere else you cannot go to a teacher and say, I control my mind. He has no answer. But you come to Vedanta, this is the process. So sadhana chatushtaya means 4 Ds: discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire. Discipline means you have sama. Sama means mind control. Dhamma means body sense organs control. All of us have mind. Now, this mind is very difficult to control. Chanchalam hi manaha. Always it is wandering. It is fickle. It thinks of one thing and suddenly thinks of another one. It thinks of another one. Again, it comes back to the same old problem. How do I control this mind? I cannot get rid of this mind. See, mind is a subtle body for all of us. When I see this physical body, many of us don't even know that they have something called as a mind. Unless you come to Tattva and study how to discriminate physical body, subtle body, causal body, and what lies beyond the 3 bodies, then only you start realizing, oh, it is only a subtle body made up of Panchabhutas. Gross body is also made of Panchabhutas. They are suffering Jara and Maranam. Similarly, the subtle body also has Kama, Raga, Dvesha, Krodha, Mada, Matsarya, jealousy, anger. These are all the diseases of the mind. We all get at different times this and it affects us. But how do I control this? That is by Atma Vidya. Whenever we have a desire for the sense objects, the sense organs they go out to this world and they try to fulfill the desire which is there in the mind. Suppose you're able to control the desire at the root level. That is what is called as sama. Dhamma. Dhamma, mind control is more difficult than body control. Dhamma means indriya, indriya nigraha. Indriya nigraha means absorption of the sense organs within the mind. The sense organs, by nature, they are produced to dwell on the sense objects. That is the creation. What is the creation? Sense organs and the sense objects. They interact, they give me karma phalam. That's all. This is what the Veda says. All of us, if you want to put it in a nutshell, what is your life and what is my life? Body is born, lives for a few years, does actions, enjoys certain parts of the world, and then dies. Again, the next birth comes. If you believe in rebirth, again the same thing happens. This is what is called as samsara. Uparati means mind free from influence of external objects. You have a control. It is it is another form of mind control only. Titiksha means I can endure heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor. See, some people, when they get honor, they are elated. At the same time, somebody comes and tells them that you are not as good as you think you are. They get dishonored. They come down drastically. What is a jnani? He is not bothered. When honor comes, he says, okay. When dishonor comes, also he is not affected. Why? Because he is Atma. See, the difference between a jnani and ajnani is he knows that I am Atma. Atma doesn't have honor or dishonor. It is always the same. He is never selfless in different situations. So we have covered four: Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha. The last two is Shraddha and Samadhanam. Shraddha means faith in the scriptures, which is easy to understand. Unless I have the faith in the Veda, in the Upanishads, that it can teach me something which will help me in my life, I will not come to this class. All of you who are listening to this session, you have tremendous faith in the scriptures. Scriptures are like the mother. Mother will never hurt the child. Similarly, the teaching of the Mother Shruti is helpful for all students of Vedanta. Samadhana means single pointedness, ekagrata. This is also a quality of the mind. You can gain this by japa, you can gain this by contemplation. What is contemplation? Contemplation means, suppose you have learned today that these are the six qualities I should have. You contemplate means in your own mind, you think about these qualities. Let me tell you one thing: nobody has got 100% of all these qualities. Nobody. Wherever you are, whichever status of mind and sense organs you are, start from there. Slowly, by listening to the Veda itself, all these qualities will come to you. Repeated listening of the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutra is the methodology of purifying your mind. There is no other way. During the study, you will gain something called as how to do japa, how to do meditation. These are all exercises which help in the spiritual program. The second section, we have finished 29 verses of the first section. First chapter has got three sections. In the second chapter, we have, I think, 25 mantras. Yeah, 25 mantras. The first 13 mantras deal with the glorification of Shishya, student, Acharya, the teacher, and Vidya, Atma Vidya. Glorification means stuti. All these are very beautiful sections of Kathopanishad. You don't find that anywhere. The Kathopanishad, it is very helpful for students who are beginning to learn about Atma Vidya. Like Kathopanishad, Keno, Katho, these are all, if you study in the beginning, it's good. Before you go to Mandukya Upanishad, Mandukya is the toughest. It's toughest because it is difficult to understand. Second, what it reveals as the ultimate truth, my mind may not be able to accept it today. These are the two things which happen in Mandukya, not in the first chapter. In the fourth chapter, you will find this. So, verse number 1 to 13 is the portion, 14 to 25 is Atma Vidya. So, in the 14th verse of this, there is a beautiful verse. It is, you must by heart that. Like I told you, what to by heart is 1:1:20 and 1:14. Two paths are there for all of us: Veda Purva and Veda Anta. Veda Purva deals with karma. Karma means rituals. Kahika karma done physically, manasa karma done mentally, and vachika karma done through the mouth, by chanting. What do they give? When you do these things, you get your sense organs and sense object, your environment around you. They give you they give you a better quality of life. These are the phalams. So what you get out of Veda Purva also is a part of Veda. It has got it has got utility. But the only problem is it is centered on Atma Sukha, not Atma Sukha. It makes me extrovert in life. Now, this portion of Veda Purva is called as prayas. Prayas, there are two words you should know before we start the next chapter. What deals with prayas, which is Anatma Sukham. The second is Atma Sukham, which is Shreyas. Always we have these two parts. At any time, we should we should drop the prayas and come to Shreyas. What is Shreyas? Shreyas is not karma pradhana, but it is jnana pradhana. It is purely knowledge for the intellect. Now, what type of knowledge? Does it give me the type of knowledge of objective sciences? No. This knowledge is Atma Vidya. Atma has intrinsic sukha, whereas the world has got fleeting sukha. It comes and goes. Any item in the world is a fleeting sukha. Nobody has control over time principle. Time brings us Jagrat Avastha, Sushupti Avastha, Swapna Avastha. Time principle. Every day we are all in time, and time is a part of the world. Now, when I go after Jnana Pradhana, which is the Shreya Marga, I become introvert. Introvert means what? I don't my mind does not wander into the world expecting happiness out of the sense objects, but it knows that I am Atma, and knowing this Atma, which the nature of Atma. See, Atma is not something which you can learn in 2 minutes. It is a process. It's called Vidya. It is a systematic study for a few years, consistent study of Upanishads. Because our mind, by nature, is asamskruta. It is not a pure mind. Atma Vidya requires a pure mind. So, getting a pure mind is the first exercise for all of us. Let's go to the first section, first mantra of this second section.
अन्यश्रेयोऽन्यदुतैव प्रेयः अन्यश्रेयोऽन्यदुतैव प्रेयः ते उभे नानार्थे पुरुषंसि नीतः ते उभे नानार्थे पुरुषंसि नीतः तयोः श्रेय आददानस्यु साधु भवति तयोः श्रेय आददानस्यु साधु भवति हीयतेऽर्थाद्य उ प्रेयो वृणीते हीयतेऽर्थाद्य उप्रेयो वृणीते.
So one is the pleasant path, which is Preyaha, P pleasant. Shreyaha is the good path. This is how you should remember. Preya means pleasant. Pleasant means it is not good for me. It is okay because it satisfies my sense organ. That is what is the is this verse teaching us. The one who loses the pleasant will lose the truth. He will lose the goal of life. The goal of life is Shreya. So many people, they are very confused in life. Unless you do the Vedantic Upanishadic study, then only you know, oh, there are four goals of life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. If you ask a common man, he has no idea about the four goals. Preyaha is karma marga, it is instinctive, gives us anatma sukha. Shreyaha is jnana marga. It is good for me. Why? Because it gives me moksha. It gives me atma sukham, which is eternal. Suppose my mind is able to get the vision of atma, like in Mandukya study, the teacher says, go beyond the three states and ask the question, who am I? Then you will get the answer. If you sit in Jagrata Avastha and keep on thinking in the Jagrata Avastha about the world which you see outside, you will not get moksha. Drop the Jagrata Avastha, drop the Sushupti Avastha, drop the Swapna Avastha. Then what happens? You reach the Adhisthana. There is something which is called as stratum from which all this world is coming and going, coming and going. Why do I say coming and going? Because this world which I'm experiencing in the Jagrat, in the waking state, is not there for me in the sleep state. But I am there. That I is Atma. Atma Sukham is pleasure, intrinsic pleasure. So intelligent person goes after Shreyaha. Dhiraha. Dhiraha means intelligent person. This Dhira is a word used very often in Bhagavad Gita as well as Upanishads. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidapyati siddhaye yatatama visiddhanam kaschimam veti tatvataha. The verse is from Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 3rd mantra. Among thousands of men, by chance somebody comes to this Atma Vidya. Now, all of us have by chance come to this Atma Vidya. Let us make the full benefit of getting this Vidya, complete clarity of Atma. Till this Atma is known to me, I shall pursue the study of Upanishads. That should be the goal. The ultimate goal is peace, security, happiness. All this is called as Parama Purushartha. This comes in moksha only. When I have, through Vairagyam, through Viveka, through Shamada Sakya Sampati, through Mumukshutvam, I have reached this ultimate goal. See, how to describe this goal? This goal cannot be described because it is something which words cannot describe. All of you have done Taittiriya Upanishad with me. Yathovacho nivartante. Words cannot go reach there. But still, the Upanishad is able to reveal that truth. It can get revealed the moment you have the qualities of fit mind. Okay, that's the first verse.
श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च मनुष्यमेतः श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च मनुष्यमेतः तौ सम्परीत्य विविनक्ति धीरः तौ सम्परीत्य विविनक्ति धीरः श्रेयो हि धीरोऽभिप्रेयसो वृणीते श्रेयो हि धीरोऽभिप्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते.
Here, Yamadharmaraja glorifies the spiritual seeker. Why? Because this seeker has been able to examine the world thoroughly. He discriminates between real and unreal, good and the pleasant. But the ignorant man will always go after the pleasant for the sake of his body, for the sake of his sense organs fulfillment. He will get attached to the world. This is these mantras are lessons for all of us. Because in order to know what I will get after I do study this Upanishads, you need this type of mantras. Two paths are available, which was said in the first mantra. Why do these two paths available? Because we have a free will. All of us, all human beings, animals, you have, not animals, human beings have a free will. Animals are programmed. They are programmed. They don't use their free will. They just are programmed and they live the life. So we have a free will to choose. And in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Uddharet Atmanatmanatmanavava sadayet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhuratmaiva Rupuratmanaha. Bhagavad Gita says, let a man lift his own self. Today, our self is hidden. We don't even know there is Atma in this body. There is Atma in the world because it is hidden. We are always drawn by the sense organs to the world outside. But what the Upanishads reveal is something the sense organs will never know. The mind can never reach there. It exists. That is what is called as art. So don't try to get disappointed if you're not able to objectify Atma. Because it is not an object, it is the subject. All sciences, whether it is geography, whether it is cosmology, whether it is physiology, all the sciences, they deal with objective science. But Veda deals with subjective science. So, when I was telling you about programmed nature of animals, a cow is vegetarian throughout life. A tiger is non-vegetarian throughout life. Now, this is why it is programmed. The human beings, we are vegetarian and we are non-vegetarian. Why? Because we have a free will. Now, in Mundakopanishad, a very similar mantra comes about the two paths. Parikshalokan, Karmachitan, Brahmano, Nirvedam. So this mantra we have studied before when we studied Mundakopanishad. I'm just reminding you. So a wise person, he studies the world and then asks the question, can the world give me eternal joy? Intelligent person learns from his experiences. He understands there is a limitation for karma. You take any karma, it is always has a beginning, it has an end. Any action has a beginning, it has an end. This is the fundamental law of action. Now, the second law of action is for every action, there is always a reaction, a phalam. Every action. There is always be a reaction. I don't know. It happens in my mind. Internally, it affects my mind. This is you have to study at the mind level, not at the body level. There are three defects which I have said many times at the beginning of Upanishads. I have said about three defects of karma. Dukkha mishritatvam, atruptikaratvam, bandhakatvam. Any phalam, any karma phalam, even if you do the biggest yaga and reach swarga, you reach the heaven, there also time will send you after a few years, after a few decades, you will come back to the same world. So pain of acquisition is there. There is a pain of preservation, and there is pain when there is a loss of whatever you have gained. Therefore, there is never a pure ananda. What gives you ananda, pure ananda? Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya alone gives you pure ananda. That is why it's, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Anantam Brahma means it gives you pure joy. The second aspect, the defect of a karma phala is trupti karatva. Atrupti karatva means you are never satisfied. You are never fulfilled in life. Any action you do, you are never satisfied by the phala. Suppose you have one child, you will go for the second child. Suppose you have $1 million, you will say, I want the next $1 million. You will ask for more and more. Suppose you have done one PhD, you will say, I wish I could do another PhD in another topic. So you compare the status of others and then you feel sorry, you feel worried. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done this. So in life, how do you get rid of atrupti? This come to Vedanta, study art. Bandhakatva. Whatever action you do, it will put you in bondage. Suppose you start having tea in the morning at 8 o'clock. Every day when you get up at 8 o'clock, your mind will force you to ask for tea. If you don't get tea, you will be very miserable in the life. Same thing happens with all our habits. That is what is called as Bandhakatva. A dhira, intelligent person knows this problem in him and he knows there is a solution not outside. Everybody thinks there is a solution outside. You are not a wise man, you are an ignorant man. When we come to, when we, before coming to Vedanta, we always blame the world. I always blame my parents. I always blame my wife or a husband or children and say that they are the cause of my sorrow. Or you blame the government. Oh, my government is not good. So having analyzed this Shreya Marga and Preya Marga, Kathopanishad says, choose the Shreya Marga. Bhajagovindam also says that why we have to choose the Shreya Marga. Preya Marga means satisfaction of the sense organ. Now, what happens to the body as you become old and old? My teeth go away. I can't even bite small things. I have to live on crutches. There are so many problems in life. So Bhajagovindam says, before you hit your old age, come to Veda, study the Shreya Marga and get the result of life. So many people who don't come to Vedanta, they are ignorant. They are totally ignorant about what is possible in their lifetime. अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो माम् ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. So to those people, the Shreya people who are self-control, to them is this knowledge possible. Ananyashchintayoma means those people, I will give to them what is required in life. But come to learn. Where is this Lord Krishna inside my body? Come to learn. Come to learn in the Bhagavad Gita. By the time you finish the 701 verses, you would have got some essence from the Gita. I'm not saying that people who have studied Bhagavad Gita, you remember every verse and you remember every meaning. But you may get the whole gist, the gist that there is something which I don't know, which I should know. Those people who have done the Gita, they come to Upanishad thinking they will get definitely something in the Upanishad. Upanishad Pramanam is a direct study of Atma Vidya. Then you study Brahma Sutra. Why do you study Brahma Sutra? You study Brahma Sutra so that your whatever knowledge you have gained from the Upanishad, it remains firm. Nobody can shake that. Otherwise, today you have learned Atma Vidya, there is Atma, I am that Atma, you learn in Kathopanishad. Tomorrow morning, somebody comes from the world and say, what is this Atma? No, nobody can shake you because you learn how to face other philosophers of life. So, Brahma Sutra is studied for making your knowledge firm and also dropping your notions that I am a samsari. Drop the notion. You see, Atma Vidya has got two portions. One is I try to know what is Atma. The second is I have to drop that I am the body, I am the mind. Both these exercises are required. If you want to get fulfillment of this Atma Vidya, you must learn both the paths, both these aspects. Karma Yoga is done as a preparation, stepping stone for Shastra Vichara. Chitta Shuddhi. So all the practices which we do in life, they are all for purification of mind. Many people come and ask me, I have come to Atma Vidya, I'm studying Bhagavad Gita, I don't have time to go to a temple or a time to go to Tirtha Yatra. I don't have time. Is it okay? I said it's fine because you see, it is the same thing. Whether you go through the path of going to pilgrimages, some people thought they take a vow. I will go to Tirupati once every year. It's a good vow. It gives you the willpower. But that willpower you should use to come to Atmavid. It's good to go to Tirupati. It's good to do japa. It's good to do meditation. Use that will ultimately to say, I am Atma. I am not the body by complex.
सत्वं प्रियान् प्रियरूपांश्च कामान् सत्वं प्रियान् प्रियरूपांश्च कामान् अभिध्यायन्नचिकेतोऽत्यस्राक्षीः अभिध्यायन्नचिकेतोऽत्यस्राक्षीः नैतां शृङ्कां वित्तमयीमवाप्तो नैतां शृङ्कां वित्तमयीमवाप्तो यस्यां मज्जन्ति बहवो मनुष्याः यस्यां मज्जन्ति बहवो मनुष्याः.
So verse number 1 and 2 talked about the glorification of a general seeker. Now, the teaching is about the glorification of Nachiketa, specifically to Nachiketa. Now, what does Lord Yama say about him? He says he has renounced all the desires for pleasurable objects, pleasant appearances. You see, all this, according to Vedanta, is an appearance. It's a drishyam. It is an appearance only. So you have to judge the merit and demerit of going after them. It is only a vision. It is only a appearance. Do you have to spend all your time in going after these pleasurable objects? That is what is the quest. And Nachiketa has come to this royal path of wealth. It's called royal path of wealth, the Shreya Marga. Nachiketa didn't know whether he was a Dhiraha or Mandaha. Dhira means intelligent, Manda means ignorant. Yama confirms here that Nachiketa was a Dhira Purusha. Dhira means he is intelligent, who rejected pleasurable sense objects thoughtfully. You see, we cannot drop objects without thinking about Nitya, Anitya Phala. What Vedanta says is, you examine, does it give you eternal joy or does it give you temporary joy? If it gives you temporary joy, it is not worth having because it is temporary. So the discretion is based on discretion based dispassion alone lasts for long time. That is what is called as maturity. Doing this viveka in your own mind, nitya, anitya phalam, nitya, anitya phalam. Should I spend so much time beyond in the gym developing my body? Many people do it. It doesn't matter. But again, do you need to do for 3 hours, 2 hours? Similarly, some people meditate for 5 hours, 3 hours. Not required. So you must know what is each of these spiritual practices, what they give. You should have clarity. If you give up something without this clarity of nitya anitya phalam, it is called as suppression. So don't come to Vedanta with a suppressive mind. You come to Vedanta with a clear mind. I want nitya phalam. I want jnana phalam. I want something which I can keep. Not only in this birth, I can keep it forever. Is there something like that? Yes. Veda says, yes, come, come. You are the fit student. So that is what it said here. Next verse.
दूरमेते विपरीते विशुचि दूरमेते विपरीते विशुचि अविद्याया च विद्येति ज्ञाता अविद्याया च विद्येति ज्ञाता विद्याभीप्सिनं नचिकेतसं मन्ये विद्याभीप्सिनं नचिकेतसं मन्ये न त्वां कामा बहवो लोलुपन्त न त्वा कामा बहवो लोलुपन्त.
Can I choose both the paths? That is a question which many people will have. All the students will have this. Can I be very good in the Preya Marga and also have Shreya Marga? That will be a doubt. Here, uh, Lord Yama clarifies this. He says these are two opposite paths. You can't combine karma and jnana. One gives you eternal joy, another gives you ephemeral joy. Material goal and spiritual. Material goal is the phalam. So deha abhimana, why do we say that you can't combine? Because unless you have deha abhimana, abhimana means identification. Unless I'm identified with the body, which is anartha, then what happens? I become a karta. I become a bhokta. Karta means I am a doer. So when you do more and more actions, you keep emphasizing in your own mind, I am a doer of action, I am an enjoyer of the result of action. So this leads to more dependence, not independence. You gather more crutches. You're totally emotionally dependent on many people and many things in life. So this prayer marga increases dependence of the world. What a Shreya Marga, Jnana Marga is only to do with your mind, nothing to do with the physical body and the world outside. It is a vidya, the knowledge which your intellect will gain, and the knowledge you are gaining is about the self in you. The self in you is different than the body. It is intrinsic to the body. It is intrinsic to the mind, but it is different than the body and mind. Because the self can exist independently, which is what you experience in your sleep state. You exist, not with your body and mind. You exist temporarily. You exist without the body and mind. So what will happen if I die? If what body dies, but the Atma continues. That is eternal. That is what is the knowledge which Yamadharmaraja will give to Nachiketa. So this knowledge is about my real self. It is not about it is the intrinsic self. What is that self which always exists? That should be the question which you and I should have. If you can find that answer through the study of Upanishad, and I can get convinced that that self is there, whether the body exists, mind is there or not, if I, if in my intellect, this notion can come that I am the pure Atma in which there is no body in mind, but it is an independently existing principle, then I have got this knowledge of independently existing principle. That is what we experience in our sleep. We don't know, but once you come to Kathopanishad, the Guru teaches here that that is what is your real self. Study of Upanishad does not change your life except knowledge about who you are. Your outside world will remain the same. Your uh, your mental relationship with the world will remain. But what will change is the only notion, who am I? That I is beyond the mind. That I is the subject matter of all the Upanishads. This is the clarity you should know. When you come to Brahma Vidya, when you come to Kathopanishad or Mandukya Upanishad, you should have this clarity. What is the clarity? I am searching for something which is not a part of the body, not a product of the body. It is an independently existing principle. That principle is eternal, nitya. It is changeless, nirvikara. If I remember these two words, it is enough. You don't have to really spend too much of time in contemplation. Nitya nirvikara sarupa ma aham asmi. That is the knowledge you get in Prema. For example, Anjaneer, he did not know his glory to cross the ocean. Somebody had to remind him, oh, you have this power. So similarly, we all have made a self-conclusion, a wrong conclusion, that we need to acquire things to be full and happy. Yamadharmaraja says, Nachiketa, you did not stay away from Jnana Marga in spite of many temptations. You did not drop the Jnana Marga. I gave you so many temptations. I told you I'll give you chariots, kingdoms, some long life. I'll give you 100 children. I'll give you so much of things in this world, joy in the world. But you choose not to. You want to choose Atma Vidya compared to that. Okay, these are all lessons of Vairagya. How Vairagyam is so important is mental Vairagya. Okay, the dispassion at the mind level, not at the physical level.
अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः स्वयं धीरा पण्डितं मन्यमानाः स्वयं धीराः पण्डितं मन्यमानाः दन्द्र्यम्यमाणा पर्यन्ति मूढा दन्द्रम्यमाणाः पर्यन्ति मूढा अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यतान्धाः अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः.
See, this is when you criticize an ignorant person, indirectly you are glorifying an intelligent person. So that is the principle Yamadharmaraja is using here. Here he compares an ignorant man and a wise man. Ignorant man, he doesn't have knowledge about Atma at all. He is living in darkness. But what does he think? He thinks he is wise and he goes around and teaching others. This is the way to lead life. It's like the blind leading the blind. It is a teaching to all of us what it means to be a wise man. To be a wise man, you need to come to Atma Vidya. You can be in any country in the world. You can be in Africa, you can be in the Caribbean, you can be in America, you can be any part of the world. As long as you're studying Atma Vidya, you may have started with Atmabodha, you may have started with Atma Bodha. You are in the path, you are in the spiritual path. So he glorifies the spiritual path compared to the normal path of all worldly people. Mundokopanishad also has the same theme in this verse, where they talk about ignorant people who pretend to be wise and they are leading the blind people being themselves blind. So this glorifies the Viveka Shakti, which is important in coming to Vedanta. See, I insist on this Viveka Shakti because many people they don't know, even after studying one or two, after studying the Bhagavad Gita, many people they don't know what they're seeking. What you're seeking through some method, God has put you into this path. But once you have come here, you should know what we are going to learn and what we will get at the end of our learning. So that when the knowledge happens, you yourself will say, yes, I have this knowledge of Atma Vidya. I am free. I was free before the birth of the body. I was free as Atma. I am free as Atma while the body is there. I will be free as Atma when the body is gone. न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैक अमृतत्वमानुषुः परेण नाकं निहितं गुहाया विभ्राजते यद्यततयो विशन्ति. Again, in Kaivalya Upanishad, very beautiful Upanishad. We have done this. This was the first Upanishad I had taken. The very third verse, it talks about the value of money, wealth, children. They say that these things will not give you fulfillment, immortality. That is why you come to the Guru to ask for this Vidya. The Guru will use the Upanishads because that is how he has learned. You see, he will go as per Sampradaya. The knowledge is available in the Veda. That knowledge will liberate you. Guru is only a medium. Vedanta asks you to become independent by prescribing mental renunciation, not external renunciation. Many people have this confusion in their mind. Suppose I don't become a sannyasi, will I get this knowledge or not? Very big confusion in many of us. Because we have heard many, many stories and we are confused. Here is the answer. What it says is you don't need to renounce physically. You can get Atma Vidya by being in Grihastha Ashrama. A householder can get this knowledge and still get the phalam of this knowledge. It is only a question of purifying your mind through repeated study of Upanishads. Why do we need to do repeated study? Because this Atma Vidya is a subjective science. I can't get this the first time when I listen to the Upanishad. I can't get it. My intellect is not able to grasp the knowledge. So what do? I again study another Upanishad, or I study Bhagavad Gita again. If you have gone through both of them, study Brahma Sutra. I have got notes in my website for all Sthanatraya. Bhagavad Gita, there is a 18 chapter, verse by verse, there is a teaching. Upanishad, I have all this Brahma Sutra also. I have got notes for all Brahma Sutras, 500 verses, 500 uh, aphorisms of Brahma Sutra. The notes are available. So spend time in trying to understand this knowledge. Bhaja Govindam is a very, very beautiful writing by Shankaracharya for beginners. For all beginners, this Bhaja Govindam will help you. It will make your mind clear as to what should be the goal of life. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Moodamate. प्राप्ते सन्निहितं काले नहि नहि रक्षते डुक्रिन करण. See, what he says is don't go after learning Sanskrit grammar for years together and don't without studying Veda, without studying Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Sutra. This is he is not criticizing Sanskrit, but he is trying to say learn Sanskrit, but come to Veda. Come to Veda, and Bhaja Govindam has another verse. Don't boast of your wealth, of your friends. I have so many great friends in all high circle. I know that CEO, I know this prime minister, this minister. Don't boast of it. Don't boast about your youth. Ma kuru dhanam jana, yauvanam garbam. Harati nimishe patakala sarvam. Nimisham. 1 second, they can all disappear. They can be destroyed in time. See, time is a very important principle. Get understand time clearly. It is in time we get birth of the body. It is in time we live throughout life. It is in time we go away from this world. But there is something beyond time. Free yourself from the illusion of the world. World is a Maya. It is a Shakti. Like we all have Shakti to go to sleep. Nidra Shakti. There is another Shakti which we don't know. That is called as Maya Shakti. That Maya Shakti, Nidra Shakti, it gives us experience of the waking of the dream world. Maya Shakti gives the experience of the waking world. Okay, so but therefore both the dream world and the waking world are only appearances from the standpoint of Atma. Why do we say Atma? Atma is beyond time. It is not in time. Waking happens in time, it goes off in time. Dream happens in time, goes off in time. Sleep is timeless. What lies beyond all the three states is this Atma, the pure Sachidananda. So don't have intellectual arrogance. Science can help in the objective truth, but not in the subjective truth. You can study cosmology, you can study physiology, you can study engineering, computer science. All that will give you money. But it cannot teach you what is Atma. For Atma Vidya, you have to surrender to the scriptures. Okay, next verse.
न साम्पराय प्रतिभाति बालम् न साम्पराय प्रतिभाति बालम् प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढम् प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढम् अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी पुनः पुनर्वशमापद्यते मे पुनः पुनर्वशमापद्यते मे.
The ignorant man thinks that the world is real. The world is not an appearance, it is real. Veda says it is an appearance. It comes and goes. Like the dream appears, goes. Waking appears, goes. Reality is Atma. The sixth verse glorifies the student. The seventh verse glorifies the teaching. And the eighth verse glorifies the acharya. These are the topics of the following three verses. We are deluded by our wealth, by our knowledge about objective science, but they give material comfort and they are able to take care of my daily needs. Artha and Kama can be pursued, but they should not be the primary goal of life. Every instrument which we use has a specific field. The sense organs can go into a specific field for the knowledge of specific. Like my ears are for sound, eyes are for the form and color, tongue for the taste, the skin is for the touch. Now, beyond that, the sense organs, they can't go into the other fields. There is no other field. That means the world which I experience is only a sensory experience. Veda talks about non-sensory existence. You can use a car on the road. You can't use your car to fly like an aeroplane. So every instrument we use has got a limitation. Dharma, adharma, we can know laws of karma governing the universe by studying Veda Purva. These are adrishtam. Whereas Brahman, God or reality is apaurushaya vishaya. Apaurushaya vishaya means it is not known to the sense organs. It is, it can be known, it will be known only by the Veda. So one who understands the values of life, he gains the freedom from sorrow, from samsara. Value of life means he comes to Dharma Shastra, Moksha Shastra. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about a situation where we all feel, I wish I had not done that. I wish I had done this. Now, this pendulum in our mind is what is the cause, is what is the expression of a sin. I feel guilty, I feel regret. These two are the pendulums of the mind based on my external lifestyle. Lord Yama imprisons you in Kala Tattvam and makes you think, what is life? The one point in your life, you will ask this question. I've I've come across everybody in life who it's not that they will think about it every day, but sometimes they will definitely think. Nachiketa is compared to the ordinary people. He is got the vivek. The most important uh, quality of Nachiketa is viveka and vaira. That is what is we should get the central essence. So far what we have studied in Kathopanishad is we must also develop viveka shakti and vairagya shakti. Next week we will do the seventh mantra of the second section. We'll continue. This goes on till 25. There are 25 mantras in this section. From the 14th mantra, that means another 8 mantras are there. From the 14th mantra, the Atma Vidya will start. 14 to 25 is the second section, second part of this second section. That is where Nachiketa will ask a beautiful question. You have to wait for that 14th mantra. Now we are in the seventh mantra. You will get next week, we'll ask this question of Nachiketa. I have already told you about this question. I didn't want to keep the suspense before. Anyway, let's close for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll go through the questions and then I'll come to Shama. First is on the chat box, Manikandan. Desire will make us to fall in samsara. How the Atma Vidya desire is different and how it avoids samsara. There are two types of desires, Sakama and Nishkama. Sakama means desires of the external world. I am the body and I want to enjoy the world. This belongs to the jiva, jivatvam in this body. The same jiva has got one more desire. I don't want the external world. I think after I learn the Upanishad, there is something called as art. This you will never get unless and until you come to the spiritual science. The spiritual science alone will make you ask this question because it gives you the Viveka Shakti. What is real? What is unreal? Again and again, the Upanishad will bang you and say, come on, don't look at the real world, the world which you are experiencing as the real world. It is an appearance. It is not there tomorrow. Again, tomorrow will come. Another. You will enjoy something in this world. Again, another status will come. But this is not the real world. There is Atma, which is the substratum. Knowing that Atma, the desire for Atma is not the objective desires of the world. This is what you should try to understand. What is the normal desire and which makes you fall in samsara again and again? It binds you. See, you want one house, you want second house, you want third house, you want this, they want that, I want this, I want that. These are all bondage. The desires ask the three questions: atriptikaratvam, bandhakatvam, dukkhamishit. If it fulfills these three conditions, it is desire of the world. You should not proceed. At any time you have a desire in mind, you ask these three questions. It will tell you it is for the anatma world. But should I spend all my life behind the anatma world is the question which each one has to answer. How much time I have to devote? You are devoting 1.5 hours study every week. It's a very good thing. It's a very good for beginners. But as you study more, what will happen to you is you will feel, oh my God, I shouldn't leave this. I must get this knowledge. I must get this knowledge clearly in my own mind. Till that time, I will not leave. That is Atma Vidya, the desire for Atma. Desire for Atma is eternal. It is an eternal desire. Sometime in your life, either in this birth or next birth or following birth, you will have this desire. If you have got it in this birth itself, make use of this desire. It has come to you. How it has come, I don't know. It has come, you have the scripture, study it. That's all. So, Manikandan, have I answered your question?
Thank you,
Right.
Sigal. Yes, very clear. So my doubt was like, when we're practicing this Atma Vidya, we need to go through many of the uh, practices, like the sadhanas. So even though it looks initially as a difficult one, but like this the same like Shreyas versus Prayas. Shreyas
Yes.
initially look looks very tough, looks like a samsara, like we
Yes.
have to practice the Atma Vidya by doing a lot of sadhanas. So maybe we need to wait patiently to get the fruit.
Correct. See, the sense organs will automatically fall in the prayer marga. Automatically. Prayer marga is common to 99.9% of the people in the world. Shreya Marga, if your Shreya Marga means it is the path for Atma Vidya, if you get it, fantastic. People who have come into for the learning of this Atma Vidya, they are very fortunate. Next week, we are going to see some of the verses where it will teach you. In Vivek Chodamani, the third verse of Vivek Chodamani says, among so many people, there is only very, very few people, one in a million, who comes to this Atma Vidya. So you have to lead life with both the markas, but you should know what should be your predomination. What should be the predominant mark?
Thank
That
you.
is what you should have the clarity. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Manikandan. The next question, Shama has raised her hand. Shama, you want to ask something?
Hari Om, Shekhar ji.
Yeah. Tell me.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
No, I just had both the things on the PC as well as my phone thing. So yeah, that's why I just wanted to be sure. So once again, I just want to thank you so profusely for bringing us to this point of examining the Shreyash and prayers and the two margas. And at every single day, we are presented with this. And we've just said, this about the sakama kama and the nishkama kama. Yeah. So the desires are the fundamental reason why we fall into this. I was just remembering, only just because I remembered from the discussion that you were having just now, is in Hindi they say jahan nahi jahan kama wahan nahi rama. You can't have both. Yeah, jahan kama wahan nahi rama, jahan rama wahan nahi kama. So once you have attained through the persistence of the Shreyas path and you've reached the Atma Vidya, then there is absolutely what desire one has. No, I think there is no desire. Will not be.
Yeah.
Because you reached the ultimate of all desires. What more do you have? And that's how one sees people who are enlightened, people who are in the right path, people like yourself, for example. You are happy, you're good, you're sharing, you're caring, so all those kind of qualities, there is what to desire. I just remembered through the discussion, and which listening to your talk, it actually brought me to the Vivek Chudamani, the fourth word, which Shankaracharya is mentioning, which actually made me feel that the man who, having by some means obtained a human birth with a male body and mastery of the Vedas to boot, is foolish enough, Mudha, not to exert himself for self-liberation. He is verily committing a suicide. So those of us, like we have this satsanga, this opportunity which we have for this Vedanta discussion, if after all of this, and I am very aware of the spiritual seekers in the group, I will be committing an Atmahanam. I'll be actually committing a spiritual suicide, isn't it? So in the last 1 week, this is where I have reached that if I just examine how tragic would be the situation, that I've got everything what I should have, and I'm still not exerting enough in this Atmajnanam, Atvidya. So this is all about Shreyas. What I was actually going to ask, and this, am I right in understanding that our basic defect, because I was asking myself, why is it like this? that despite all the good opportunities that I'm given, why am I not exerting? And I realized it is this very deceptive, elusive ego that is at the core of this whole thing. Even for good activities, I very quickly managed to say, oh, so and so needs my help, so and so needs this. And I have understood that even people who do charity work, they are actually deep down, there is this ego serving functions. So I have actually put this as a question in my mind: whatever am I doing? Is it deha abhimana? Somewhere it is serving my ego. So you've used this word quite often, deha abhimana, but I didn't think much about it till I have examined in this last 1 week as to how many or more of my actions are driven by this ego serving function.
Yeah, Deha Abhimana is extremely, it's one of the primary obstacles in our life. We all look at the body as real.
Mm.
Unless you come to Atma Vidya, which talks about Atma being real and the body and mind being unreal.
So you included the mind, and the mind is the one which actually is the greatest deception, because it tricks you into believing whatever you want to believe. The prayers. I can easily convert the prayers to sort of say, oh, it is this, and therefore I need to do it very, very quickly, and only to realize later that it was actually triggered by some kind of an ego-serving function. Good action. I'm talking about good action. But they are not leading me. The good action was definitely not leading me to any Atmajnana.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this ego is a very, very big factor, and dropping this ego is extremely difficult. Very, very difficult. Vairagyam, Viveka, all these are all Sanskrit words. They're all outside in the textbooks. When I try to apply it in my own life, in my own mind, it is you will find it is very difficult to have this Vairagyam word. Vairagyam from the Pancha Anatmas, which is the major problem for all of us. But through the study, what happens is, see, the more we get this Atma Vidya, again and again, when we repeatedly listen, oh, there is Atma, that's what I am. There is Atma, that's what I am. Then what will happen is this second feature about the ego, that slowly it starts diminishing.
Mm-hmm.
This diminishes. The repeated study of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita helps you to drop the ego. This is the only way. There is no other way. And once you have dropped the ego, you have reached moksha. And you will experience it within yourself. It is a drishta phalam. Again and again, I'm repeating, moksha is a drishta phalam. It is not adrishtam. It is not like karma phalam. Karma phalam is adrishtam. I don't know which karma I have done in which birth, and that result is coming to the body and the mind in time. But jnanam is not in time. Jnanam is beyond time. Once you know what is beyond time, that's it. It is, it is a jnana phalam is a drishta phalam, and you yourself will get convinced that I am the Atma. After that, you will feel tremendous relief in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You will feel it. You will feel it yourself. Now I used to worry about so many things in life. It's not because that is a appearance. It comes, it goes. But what always exists is Atma. And once your intellect has shifted from extrovert to introvert, and you have a look at that Atma directly, it is aparoksha jnanam. After that, you don't need any Veda. You don't need Upanishads. You just have to live your life with the knowledge I am the Atma. That's all.
Can I just say, just it came to my mind about the Shreyash Marga, and it's just really on a self-riksha. And I want to ask, am I right? Okay. Tread with dread. There should be a certain amount of caution and a fear in our mind. That's what I mean by tread with dread. There are many sharks and alligators in this Bhavasagara, which I've just mentioned about this ego business, the Deha Vibhana, which it's so difficult to know what all is happening. Build strong muscles of Viveka and Vairagya. You keep referring to the gymnasium. So in the spiritual gymnasium, what one is building up is constantly is this Viveka and Vairagya. Build strong the muscles of Viveka and Vairagya. Hire the strong guards. And I want to have 2 strong guards, which whatever I'm taking is Shama and Dama. Because if I, at any given situation, if I have got my mind controlled and my sensory system Dama built, then I can more or less not fall into the trap of whatever the situation may. Sail in the boat of the Vedanta with other pilgrims. So I've chosen a complete marga for myself, the Shreyas marga.
Yeah, that's correct. Very well put, Shama. Extremely well put. I think you've got the essence of today's talk of Viveka and Vairagyam. These are
Yeah.
your 2 guards. If you have these 2 guards installed in your own mind,
Mm.
fantastic.
There is a caution, isn't it? Well, because the spiritual journey is not an easy peasy thing.
Not at all. Spiritual journey is the toughest. Even in Kathopanishad, we're going to talk about it in the coming mantras. Lord Yama is going to see it's a very, very tough path.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shikhaji. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you, Shama. Thank you. Jacqueline, I'll come back to you. I'll finish with Shanta first. Yeah, Shanta, go ahead.
Yeah. Namaste, Shekharji. I'm having a little bad throat, so forgive me for that. My question, I found, when you mentioned, and you have mentioned it a few times, that animals or birds are programmed. So if they are programmed, and we also believe that, I've read, I don't know whether it's true, that you have to take that much, births you take and you do that much activities or kriyas, and then eventually you get the birth of a human being, right? So
Yeah.
human being is supposed to be the most supreme birth, which gives you the moksha and which gives you the ability to get the moksha. So if at the animal bird level, if we are programmed, how can we actually be, say, a animal, say for example, a dog? How can I be a dog which will go towards the path of becoming a human being, and the one who's going to take longer to become a human being? And we can see that because even when you have a dog, you can have there are stray dogs and there are dogs which are loved by the owners. So they've got different lives, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, uh, if they're programmed, then one is getting love, affection, all the pleasure of, with be having a owner, and the other is not, and that is programmed as we believe. And if that is programmed, then how is this discrimination in this program, and how are these 2 animals in 2 different situations going to eventually get to a path to become a human, um, when they have no will to do what they have got? I've just found it very contradictory. So if you could clarify for me. Thank you.
Yeah. You see, what you are forgetting is this is not the last birth for them.
Hmm.
This is the birth in which they find themselves to be animal or a bird or a mosquito. But their next birth, maybe the karma phalam will be so good that they will climb the ladder. This is the evolutionary ladder. The whole world is explained by the law of karma. In your cycle of karma, there are
Hmm.
certain times in that Sanchita karma mode, in that balance of your Sanchita karma, you may require a particular birth of an animal or a bird. This is just use the karma theory only to explain what you are undergoing in this world.
Okay. Okay,
So
I
don't use the
understood now.
karma
Yeah,
theory beyond a certain level. Just use it
yeah.
to say that this is what it is. So that dog in this birth may become a human being the next birth. It's possible.
Mm, mm.
A
Yeah, I
human
think
being
I
in
got
this
it
birth
now.
can become a devata in the next birth.
Mm,
So the birth of the body is only a temporary thing. What you
mm,
have to understand is there something beyond the body?
mm,
The question you should, the right question you should ask is there something? That question should trouble you. If you are a
mm,
Vedantic student, is there something beyond this body? Is there something beyond the mind? Mind
mm,
is troubling me all the time. The more in the waking state, mind is going through ups and downs, ups and downs. It puts me into situations and many times it deludes me also. Shama was just talking about some experiences. The mind itself deludes you also. That is also karma phalam.
mm,
So to jump out of this karma phalam, the only way is Atma Vidya. In for every creation, uh, birth after birth, you see what happens is there is one world is created, and then there are so many births in that particular creation. Now, the vidya, that means this is vidya knowledge which is given to us to come out of this identification only. You see, I'm only using this word again and again, deha abhimana and
mm,
atma abhimana.
mm,
Deha abhimana is I keep on questioning my body, mind, world.
mm,
Atma abhimana means all my questions will stop. I am Atma. Tell yourself maybe even 100 times, I am Atma, I am Atma. I will face the life
mm.
as whatever comes into my world. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now, what happens, let it come.
So
I will
I mean,
face, yeah.
yeah,
So
no,
first
I
of all,
think
does
I
it answer to
understand.
your
Yeah,
question
yeah,
about the,
I think I got it with as soon as you pointed out about this Sanchita karmas, and I just realized that, um, when I think it's wrongly taught to us that you have to go through certain births to become, because I think we are being brainwashed by this theory of evolution, and then we say that okay, you have to become first a bird and then an animal and then you become a human being, and
yeah,
therefore in each
no
birth you have
need.
to go through all this.
Yeah,
But
that is
this
theory of evolution.
explanation, yeah, this
That
this
is theory of
explanation
evolution.
actually,
Yeah,
yeah, actually turned the thing around for me, where actually for the person to burn off some of his sanchita karmas of atma, for that jiva, he has to take that birth as an animal, so that his certain sanchita karmas need to be burnt, and therefore that birth is there. It has got nothing to do with the that next birth is, he has to go through. Is that, I mean, I looked at it in that way now. I mean, after you explain that each birth is taken in whatever form we are, in the previous, whether it's animal, mosquito, as you said, is to burn those certain sanchita karmas, which can be done only in those forms.
that's
And
correct.
therefore,
This is
I
how
think
karma theory
thinking of that is
explains.
better. Yeah,
Yeah,
I felt that this explanation is much more comforting. That no, I have not evolved from a dog or an animal, but it
correct.
is, I was always I have not
Yes,
changed, but my body has changed because of burning those my sanchita karmas, which I come as prarabdha
correct.
karmas. In different times, in different bodies, I'm able to change them or burn them off. And so the I has not changed. What has changed is my body. Would it?
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it,
that's
it
correct.
makes me feel comfortable understanding this. Am I
Yes,
right now?
that's good. You see, what will happen as you study the Upanishads further and further, when your intellect gets convinced about Atma,
Mm,
then what will happen is you will create a big distance between your body, mind, and you. The distance,
mm,
internal distance, it's not an external
mm,
distance. Internally, your mind will take 10 steps behind and say, this body I am perceiving
mm,
through the sense organs in this body, in this body also. Through
Mm.
the sense organs, I'm perceiving all other bodies also, whether it's a bird or a cow. It is the sense organs which are perceiving my body and the all the bodies in creation. So what happens then is Atma Bhimana gives you complete freedom and says, I have always been Atma, I am Atma now, I will be Atma forever.
Mm.
And this knowledge, once it remains, you see, this Atma knowledge is not like a knowledge which keeps on changing. Yesterday I was like this,
Mm.
and tomorrow I'll be like this. It is not a
Mm.
changing knowledge,
Mm.
it is
Nitya.
changeless
Mm.
knowledge. So the changeless knowledge, once it takes birth in your intellect, it remains changeless forever.
Mm.
Every
No, I
time you
think
are
we are
faced in a
walking on that
situation,
path.
huh?
I think we are walking on that path because I think
Yeah,
normally I would have not been able to say that, I am the same, but only my body has changed. I think that is the first step towards my changing in my mind. And
yeah,
I'm hoping that these changes will, move forward. And
right.
then I can, as you said, distance myself internally that body and I are different. Yeah,
Anyway,
thank
this
you
is
very much.
this is a spiritual path. It takes time. You see,
Mm,
the body has a prarabdha karma. It
mm,
will it will require the prarabdha karma to fulfill its its role in this current birth.
mm,
So when you're doing actions, it don't get bewildered. Oh, I'm doing this action. I'm Atma. No, that body will take
mm.
action. Body
Yes.
will go through experiences in life, whether it is sukham or dukkha, and I will continue. As
Yeah.
Atma, I am always there.
Now I've got one
World is
following
not
question.
always there. Atma is always there. See, today what we are thinking, we don't have the discrimination capacity in our mind to distinguish what is real, which is there all the time, unchangingly, and what is unreal. See, unreal is this experience of the world.
Mm,
Real is the is something which is, you see, why do we call it adhisthana? Adhisthana means it is a
mm.
substratum.
Substantive.
You see, and as a substratum, I can always remain with myself.
I have
That is
got a
why
following question.
this gives
Yeah.
you permanent joy.
Mm,
Atma Vidya gives you permanent joy, nitya sukham, and worldly sukham is anitya sukham.
yeah. Just following on that, we say, or rather, when we come to Vedanta, we believe we are on the path where hopefully at some point we will get the moksha. Maybe, we might learn to that much level, and then next birth we might complete this journey of, getting the Jivan Mukta. Uh, but I was just I was just reading about biographies of various leaders, and one of the things which really strikes me is Maharana Pratap. When he decided to take diksha with Tulsidas, Tulsidas sends him back, and he says, "No, you've got karma to do. You are not ready." But it is not that his mind was not pure. So I know I can. I mean, I'm just trying to understand this situation now where he is denied of diksha not because he doesn't have the feeling and complete surrender feeling, but he has some sanchita karmas, or sorry, prarabdha karmas to finish. And so in this birth, you can't get diksha, he says, because you've got lots to do in for this in this birth. So um, is it um, is it again, I would say that when you come with certain prarabdha karmas, they take you, although you have the vision, you have the will and everything, but because of your strong prarabdha karmas which you have come with, it does not allow you to reach a point of moksha in this jivan, or
Yeah,
the
it is
jivan mukta
possible.
in this
It's
life.
very much possible. Very much possible because prarabdha karma is something which is very difficult to understand and it is something which is totally uncontrollable.
Mm,
It is adrishta phalam. It is totally uncontrollable, unseeable. I don't know why it happens. I mean, you can imagine a person who was till yesterday he was doing very well in this world. Suddenly he has to go to ICU and the next day morning, and then he is facing this. Why? So there are situations which we don't know. There is no question. There is no answer to this. That is what is called as prarabdha. So you're right.
So you think that is, yeah, so therefore there is a possible, I mean, because
Yeah,
I'm
there
just
is a
looking at this
possibility.
Maharana
Yes,
Pratap's thing
yes,
and makes me
yes,
feel that the will and even the purity of the mind,
yeah,
he could only apply to complete his prarabdha karma rather than getting moksha. Okay, thank you.
yeah. That's correct. Yes,
Mm.
good. Thank you, Shanta. Jacqueline, you have a question? Sorry, I kept you waiting for almost 15
Oh, it's
minutes.
okay. It's a wonderful thing to listen to everything. Mr. Shekhar, uh, I just want to ask, in fact, by listening to you or by coming to this place to listen to you, there's no control. By me having gone through certain things here and there, I think now I concluded that even consciousness, consciousness itself is always illuminating what I have to do. There's no control at all. So what happened is, as a human being, we always think about, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do. But in fact, the entire Jacqueline on this earth is not under the control of Jacqueline. It's everything illuminated. I have to wake up, I have to do this, I have to do that. So basically, what I want to say is, if we are not human being, we will not think about all this. It will just be an automatic kind of situation. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, correct. You're not programmed to follow like the animals and birds. You have a free will. You decide, I want to learn about something which is about the soul. I want to learn about it. I've got the free will. I will go through whatever sources are available to me. See, the same question which bothers which bothers all of us is who am I ultimately? Am I Jacqueline, the one who is doing all the actions? And there are the actions are not even in my control. I just do it. All of
Yeah,
us.
exactly. Just like what you just mentioned, right? I want to study the soul. I want to have a PhD. In fact, I want to say it's not me that I want also, it's the consciousness that illuminate me, because I am a human being, therefore I say I want. But if I'm talking about the power of now, everybody is, even all the all the Hindu, what you have teaching, all the Upanishad also say that if right now you are saying that you don't have any sorrow, then it is who you are, because for you, consciousness, there's no sorrow at all. So to me, it's like, yeah, because I'm a human being, and therefore I keep on saying I want to study this. But to me, I just kind of like realize that, conclude that, even it is not I want to do it. It's the consciousness that push me to do it. Am I right to say that?
See, the consciousness is common to all of us, like the sunlight. The sunlight is there for all of us. In the sunlight, what we do depends on our karma, our what we are supposed to do as per our, why we have taken this particular birth, because some action we have done and have taken this birth.
Yes.
So, so it's, in consciousness only we are all acting. Don't focus your mind on the actions. Try to take the mind away from the actions to the consciousness which is illuminating the actions. How do you do that? Repeatedly, you will keep saying, "I am the consciousness. I am the Atma, which is always there. I am a eternal principle. I'm not the temporary Jacqueline, which is available for transactions in the waking time. It is not available. Jacqueline is not available in the sleep time. So Jacqueline is as a Jacqueline, it is a phenomenon which is coming and going. But as Atma, as consciousness, I am eternally there. This is the difference between experience of the body mind and experience of, okay, Atma, the consciousness is changeless. The body, mind, and our experiences in the waking state, they are all changing. Try to discriminate these two, and then one day you will get this answer. You may not get this answer immediately when I'm telling you, but the moment you have understood this, that there is something in which all these actions are happening, and this Jacqueline has no control over the actions. You
Yeah,
see, the problem
exactly.
is this:
Exactly.
many of us, to come to this understanding, it requires a lot of time. It's not that is what is called as maturity.
Yeah, that's why I am in a way that saying that, yeah, I think I want to control, but it's not. So just go with the flow. Whatever it happened, it happened. But then as a human being, it is not allowed because there is certain commitment that you need to reach, you know. So it's like interesting. Okay, it's profound to be in this world as a human being. That's the only thing I can say. Just go with the flow.
Good. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Appreciate.
Thank you. Venkatesh, you have a question?
Yeah, I was also connecting with the topic that Shanda ma'am and further this discussion that was happening about birth, rebirth, karma, etc. So I was also having a lot of misconceptions of this in a way. But I think some of the talks that we had, especially when the Mandukya Upanishad was being discussed about the theory of creation, where it was being told that creation is not something to be bothered too much about, and it is just like fire, the sparks in the fire, where the beings, the animals or human beings or whatever, bird or mosquito, whatever, this is a glory of the Brahman, and they come, they go. So in a way, there is only birth, birth, and birth, right? Is it even right to consider that there is no birth and rebirth? There is only birth, 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 and there may not be even an ultimate target to have moksha, because ultimately, if Brahman is only there and all the creation and life is the glory of the Brahman, then as long as the Brahman is going to be there, which is eternal, the births and their extinguishing will continue to be there.
Yeah, birth and death are only when you are identified with the body. So birth, death is only when with deha abhimana. And the moment you are identified with Atma, then what happens? There is no, what you are saying is absolutely right. There is no birth, there is no rebirth, there is no death, there is no, all these things are what? They are all only appearances in consciousness. Consciousness, once you have understood as the ultimate essence of creation, then what happens is you get total freedom. Total freedom, 100% freedom. That is what is called as moksha. You are not identified with anything. And then what you see, the knowledge, the moment you become a jnani, and then you come back to this, come back to the world, and then you have to go through your prarabdha karma. It is a totally different feeling. That is what is called as jivan mukta state. You are still with the body and mind going through your prarabdha, but you know you are free from body and mind and you are up. So it is a process of learning, it's a process of claiming. This consciousness is the ultimate. You see, it is a status with reference to this body. For example, in Mandokya, they say waking state, dream state, sleep state. Now, these three states are only with reference to the mind. Suppose you don't identify with the mind. What are you? You are Atma. I am pure consciousness. and pure existence. In this pure existence consciousness, these bodies are coming, going, up, coming, going, exactly like a baker finds his dream coming and going.
Yeah.
All you can imagine, all your dreams so far, every day for so many months and years, you have dreamt. Can you hold on to any dream? No. Same thing you realize when you realize Atma, you will realize that the waking state is also like that only. You can't hold to it. You can't, there's no way you can hold. That is the way the world is. Unless you were right in saying that don't analyze the world too much because it is mithya. At some time, you have to falsify that. In the beginning stage itself, you understand mithya and satyam. One of the very important exercises for all Vedantic students is understanding satyam, understanding mithya. The moment you have this clarity of satyam and mithya, atma and anatma, then what happens is the falsification becomes easy. Good, Ritesh. I like your question. And it's a question of just being in the path and you will get your answers. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Ekam.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we'll stop here. It's a long, good session of Q&A. And we'll see next week on the important question of Nachiketa, which will come next week. Okay, about Atma Vidya. Namaste. I wish you all a great day.
Thank you.
Namaste.